My name is Victoria Martin, and I'm a retired educator. For 22 years, I had the privilege of working and living on the Hudson's and James Bay coast, Treaty 9 lands, the home of the Mushkegowuk Cree. For 18 of those years, I was based in Moose Factory. I'd been given very little grounding in traditions and the culture of the Cree people, and as I worked and lived there, I saw that gap as huge, and it's one that's still in process of being filled. As a newly hired teacher, I found my professional support at Monistic School with the staff and administration, the families that I worked with. But as a person of faith, I found my family at St. Thomas Anglican Church. Now, all the highs and lows of the community were celebrated there, the weddings, the funerals, the baptisms. But it was not just Anglican people that used this church for so many purposes. Every year, there was the Remembrance Day service at the cenotaph with our veterans then and the students and all the community coming to celebrate and memorialize that day. Now, St. Thomas wasn't called Old St. Thomas then. It was simply the heart of the community for everyone. And although there are lots of memories of the vibrant worship there, the songs, the hymns sung in Cree and English, puppet shows in the chancel, and waving cedar branches instead of palm branches on Palm Sunday, this isn't the time for my memories of those things. It's actually the time where we have to look at restoring that same sense of vibrancy of this community based in the church. It is the iconic image of Moose Factory. When you come in off the river by skidoo or boat, you see the steeple. When you look at a brochure from tourism, you see St. Thomas Church. It is the heart of this community, the visual heart. But now it needs to become again the active, beating heart of the community, for not just the community people, but for those who come to learn and discover so much about this wonderful history. Now, the Anglican heritage needs to be acknowledged and respected, absolutely. But it's now the time to put the deeper and longer history of the Cree people front and center. We hear in the news all the disheartening things about the Truth and Reconciliation Commission calls to action. So many not even begun, only a few completed. It can be really disheartening. And the discouragement and the disrespect for the Indigenous people by this failure is deep, and it's penetrating the community at times. And I have to face my part in this failure. But as a person of faith, I simply can't hang my head in embarrassment or shame. I can't let inertia be my guiding principle. We are enjoined to seek justice, love mercy, and walk humbly. Neither you or I can do all of these things. We can't solve all these issues for reconciliation. And so I commit to one thing, to continue to move towards this restoration. The one thing I have chosen to do is to help restore and revitalize and reimagine Old St. Thomas as the heart of this community. I hope you, whether you are a person of faith or of none, can find your one thing to act upon. And I hope that so many of you will make this project your one thing. Miigwech, Wajay.